Am I the a-hole for refusing to visit my mom after she invited my B-lly to family dinners? I am a 29 female living in Portland, Oregon, and this story involves my mom, Cheryl 56 female, and my former high school bully, Sarah 30 female. Yes, Sarah, the person who made my teenage years a living HLL, is now a regular guest at my mom's house. Before I dive in, I should explain the history between Sarah and me. Sarah and I grew up in the same small town in Washington, went to the same schools, and were even in the same Girl Scout troop when we were little. But by the time we hit middle school, Sarah had turned into the mean girl cliché, gossiping, spreading rumors, and making fun of anyone she deemed beneath her. And for some reason, I became her favorite target. I don't use the word bully lightly. Sarah wasn't just casually mean, she went out of her way to humiliate me at every opportunity. She'd make comments about my weight, my clothes, my family, even the way I walked. She once started a rumor that I had lice, and I spent a week with everyone avoiding me like I was contagious. At prom, she poured a punch on my dress and then pretended it was an accident, laughing the whole time. I begged my mom to let me switch schools, but she always brushed it off. "You need to learn to stand up for yourself," she'd say. "People like Sarah only have power if you let them." It was easy for her to say. She wasn't the one crying herself to sleep every night. After high school, I worked hard to put all of that behind me. I moved to Portland for college, built a career in graphic design, and made a life I'm proud of. I rarely went back to visit my hometown because every time I did, I'd run into someone who reminded me of Sarah and those awful years. My mom still lives in that town, and we've always had a strained relationship. She's the kind of person who needs to be liked by everyone and will bend over backward to avoid confrontation. I think that's part of why she never really stood up for me when I was being bullied. She didn't want to rock the boat with the other parents. About 6 months ago, my mom called me with some exciting news. "Guess who I ran into at the farmer's market?" she said, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. "Sarah. You remember Sarah, don't you?" I nearly dropped the phone. "You mean Sarah? The one who made my life miserable for 4 years?" "Oh, come on, that was ages ago," my mom said dismissively. "People change, Chloe. Anyway, she's back in town, and we had the nicest chat. I invited her over for dinner next week." I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. "Mom, are you serious? Why would you invite her over?" "She seems so sweet," my mom said. "And she's had a hard time lately, she just went through a divorce, and she's trying to get back on her feet." "So your solution is to have a bonding dinner with the person who bullied your own daughter?" I said, my voice shaking. "Chloe, don't be so dramatic," she said. "That was high school. It's time to let it go." I refused to go to that first dinner, but I called my mom the next day to ask how it went. She couldn't stop gushing about Sarah. "She's just so lovely now," she said. "She even asked about you. She said she feels terrible about how things were in school and would love to reconnect." I didn't buy it. Sarah was a master manipulator, and I wasn't about to give her the satisfaction of thinking she'd gotten under my skin again. But then the dinners became a regular thing. Every couple of weeks, my mom would call me with an update about what a delight Sarah was. She even brought me flowers this time. My mom said once, as if that erased years of torment. The breaking point came last month when my mom tried to guilt me into coming to one of these dinners. "Chloe, it's been months since you visited," she said. "Why don't you come this weekend? Sarah will be here, you can finally clear the air." I snapped. "Clear the air? Mom, she ruined my teenage years. She made me feel worthless. Why are you so determined to bring her back into my life?" "Because she's not the same person anymore," my mom said, exasperated. "People grow up, Chloe. Maybe it's time you did too." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You're choosing her over me," I said. "Your own daughter." "Don't be ridiculous," she said. "I'm not choosing anyone. I just think you're holding on to a grudge that isn't serving you." "Well, I guess I won't be serving you any visits anytime soon," I said before hanging up. Since then, things have been tense. My mom has called and texted multiple times, accusing me of being petty and immature. She says I'm punishing her for being kind to someone who's going through a tough time. Even my aunt has chimed in, saying, "Your mom's just trying to do the right thing. You should give Sarah a chance." But I can't. Every time I think about Sarah sitting in my mom's house, laughing and sharing stories, I feel sick. It's like she's invading one of the few safe spaces I had left. Alex, my fiancé, thinks I should stand my ground. "You don't owe anyone forgiveness," he said. "Your mom needs to respect your boundaries." But part of me wonders if I'm being too stubborn. Maybe Sarah really has changed. Maybe this is an opportunity to heal old wounds. Or maybe it's just another way for her to win. Am I wrong for refusing to visit my mom as long as she keeps inviting Sarah over? Should I try to be the bigger person and give her a chance, or is it fair to protect myself from someone who hurt me so deeply? Reddit, I need your advice because I feel like I'm losing my family over this, and I don't know if I'm making the right call.